Yeah.
Oh Lord.
What do you mean?
What's that in Greek?
Yo, come on, why did you brief her, yo? I'll cut this part out. Yo, fuck this. Fuck all this. Hey, welcome back to the Parrot Side podcast. Self skills. We got man like bro.
Don't worry today. Keep it simple. So yeah, unlike those.
But it's getting this entire life. Come on.
Hey, what's up, man?
And we've got special guests in the building.
Multi-award-winning professional bodybuilder. You can call her a coach as well. She's not doing too bad career-wise either. We have Olive today. How you doing?
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here today.
Hey, thank you for coming on.
Hey, y'all know what it is, boy. Obviously, all three of us in primary school. Shout out to Parrot Side, Greenwood House School. If you know that, you know. Hey, what was we doing back then? The Parrot Side was hanging out. We still doing the same thing. Hey, come hang with us. Y'all know what it is. We have our agenda of the day, and it's going to be an interesting one. We'll start off with body dysmorphia in society. Now, I'll be honest. I didn't actually know what it meant. Kamala to explain it, and I actually still don't know. So, I don't know if I get it, because I thought it was like, oh, society says you should be this, therefore I should be that. I don't know. So come on, please, you start to explain what it is.
I mean, we'll just go with like a standard like Google definition. So, according to the NHS website, it's a mental health condition where a person spends a lot of time worrying about flaws in their appearance. Those flaws are often unnoticeable to other people. So that's like a basic definition.
So
of
they
it.
feel like they
think of
they
it
have
as-
flaws, but other people cannot see those flaws.
So think of it as let's say I'm like skinny, right? Like I'm very skinny.
Mhm.
But for years I've always thought I was bigger than I was. So even though other people may see me as skinny, in my mind I'm still a lot bigger. It's that kind of thing where you have like a distorted image of how you actually look. Yeah, that's like the easiest way to explain it. Yeah. So
But must it always be distorted? Can you be aware that like your body is a different type of way?
So it's not necessarily about what your body is or isn't. It's more so that the reality of what you look like to other people and the reality of how you see yourself is completely different. So I wish you guys actually Google this shit.
Yeah, do you know, like, I get what you're saying. I just thought it was really more like the whole feeling uncomfortable in your own body kind of thing. I thought that's what
That's part
that's
of
what
it.
was.
Yes, it's part of it, yeah.
Okay,
But it's not totally just that. I don't know if Olive has like a better way of explaining it to you guys.
Yeah, Olive, what do you think?
Well, I was gonna say you actually had a really, really good definition. I think like that distorted idea of how
Yeah.
you are versus what you actually are. And sometimes it's not necessarily that like it's not true at all, but it's definitely blown way over proportion. I think it's like a matter of perspective, right? So like the skinny person who like has always felt like they were fat, like many times it comes from what people tell you, and then you start to internalize that, and then people are never able to kind of like break away from that original like label, even though it's not necessarily true.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know
Do you
if
feel
that's
like
better for you guys.
yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, do you feel like a lot of people suffer from like body dysmorphia in this day and age?
100%.
Really?
It's a lot more common than you think.
Huh. But like, how so though? Is it
It's
more on the
super
side
common.
of like slim people feeling like they're fat, or like vice versa? Like, what is it?
I think this is actually really good because I have different perspectives on this, right? I'll start with the bodybuilding perspective. Like, it's very, very common amongst bodybuilders to have body dysmorphia. And I think part of it is due to the fact that we go through a process where we see our physique at extremes. So like when you're getting ready for a competition, you get like super duper lean and shredded, and you can see like every muscle and vein in your body, right? And that gets you a lot of attention. But then when people start to put weight back on, because it's not healthy to be lean like that all year round, and then they start to
Oh.
feel like they're fat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like there's like a, when you're getting ready for stage, and then there's like an off season or maintenance look. So like you do have to reverse and like your diet and like start eating more again, because just staying that low for so long is gonna like mess up your hormones, etc. Right? So people like, legitimately, like you can see someone who's super shredded, and then you can see them looking like a regular person who works out, right? Like they have like abs on the beach, but they're not like deeply cut. And that person feels like they're fat.
Okay.
Yeah. And
It's
that's
a
like
very
in
weird
terms of like,
thing.
Yeah, I mean, because objectively, I mean, well, I guess it's in comparison because if they were just like extra shredded, and then now I guess like you said, it's off season. I guess like I see it. Also, quick question by the way, when you say off season, what do you guys do like on stage? Is it like because I think Kamal tried to explain yesterday, but it's not weightlifting, isn't it? You don't. It's just
yeah,
like
no. So
No.
that would be powerlifting, where they like actually lift at the
Yeah.
competitions.
so. How do you like
So
win?
bodybuilding is just really about showing off a physique, right? So you're on
Okay.
stage posing. So you're pretty much just like flexing while you're being compared to other people on stage. And then you do like a routine to kind of show off your physique. And yeah, that's what a show day is like. So you're pretty much going to be like starved going into it, like not that much energy, probably dehydrated. So it doesn't actually feel great to look that good, to be honest.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I see people in my gym practicing the poses and stuff. Like the shit it's actually like mad stressful because you need to hold a position for like a
Yeah.
certain like let's say 10, 15 seconds, however long it is. And you see them like flexing as hard as they can. And they're like, hold it, hold it, hold it. And bro, I'm just there watching like, what the actual fuck is this? I could never like see, no offense to you guys, but I could never do that shit.
No,
One,
I mean,
I don't have the discipline to do it, but like two, it's just crazy stressful. Like maintaining a diet for so long and then doing the show, and then after it's like, okay, you have to get back to your normal diet and workout program and everything. It's just such a stressful routine to do all year round. I'm just like, man, like I salute you guys, but I could never do it.
it's a lot. I ain't even gonna cap. It's a lot. That's for me personally. I do 1 year on, 1 year off, just because
Ah,
like
right.
I want to. Yeah, like this year I'm not competing at all. I just want to like be in the gym and lift because I enjoy doing it and have energy and like be able to go out with friends and have drinks and stuff like that. Like
So what was the motivation for you
That
to
was my next
start?
question. Is like what like
Yeah.
why the stress? Like what's pushing you? like why?
I think the unique thing about bodybuilding that a lot of people find, and for me personally as well, is like once you get started and you commit to a process, you like find out so much about yourself, and then you kind of get obsessed with improving. That's kind of
Yeah.
like because yeah, being on prep gives you to like, kind of always sets you on like a different level, and you can't always be going at 1,000%, but it's like just that practice of like, okay, I can actually have discipline and see something through all the way to the end, and
Yeah.
like get win at the end. Now I win money too, so win and then win a trophy and win money.
That's good
Yeah,
Yeah.
motivation.
How do you view yourself now?
I view myself as like bigger than I was then, but I'm still small.
Uh-huh.
And that's
Small,
the other
okay,
side of
small,
bodybuilding.
small in the
A
sense
body
of like you
dysmorphia.
don't have a lot of fat, or small in the sense that you're actually small, like muscle wise as well.
Or like weight
Like
wise.
muscle wise. Like
Yeah. Okay.
See, well, I guess that's why it's body dysmorphia. Because me personally, I mean, not for nothing, we seen your Instagram page. I would not agree. You know what I'm saying? So like, I guess that's the whole body dysmorphia thing, isn't it?
Yo, these guys were amazed. Like they kept on, they kept on looking like, yo, is she like, yo, this girl is buff. I'm like, yeah, like, yeah, she's been doing this for a while. Like, she's gonna have muscle and shit. They were so amazed.
That's funny.
But
Oh my goodness, I didn't know you guys had seen that.
yeah, I mean your professional page, the All of the Games page. Yeah, follow on Instagram at
Mhm.
all of the Games. So yeah, I showed them that. And Skills was even asking about your diet and stuff, and I was like, yeah, like because I remember a while ago you used to post your cooking on, was it Snapchat? It might have been
Yeah, on
Snapchat.
Snap.
Yeah,
Hmm.
she used to post it, and Skills went through looking for like workout programs and shit.
Yeah, no, I'm actually about to die, you know.
Yeah, but like just to get back on the topic, I guess everyone has a different experience. I guess at least people affected by it. So for me, mine started since I was like let's say 6, 7 maybe. So I cook back home. He used to call me Orable, which for people that don't know is like fat and like like a derogatory way, right? So and like when I look back at how I looked even then, I'm like I wasn't that big. But she used to call me that ever since then. And then it gradually progresses. So when you go to uncle houses, aunties' houses, you know how Nigerian aunties are, even like they just have to comment about your weight in one way or the other. Like
Yeah.
Mm.
they just have to say something. So it went from cook at home, family, and then school. Because even in school, I remember like one time, uh, this guy is 1 year ahead of us. They like told me to remove my shirt just so they could like make fun of me and shit. Like shit like that gets to you, you know. So then, even when I got to uni and I eventually lost the weight, skills like I hear you laughing still. So, like even when I eventually lost most of the weight, because once in one summer I lost 14 kg and then I lost another six like some months after. So I lost a shit ton of weight like quickly.
Mm.
Not always the healthiest way, but again, when your mind is warped in a certain way, you're not always
Wait,
thinking
what was your weight when you were in uni?
I was 86 kg at the time. Um,
What's
86.
that in pounds? That's
yeah,
like
that's like
189 pounds. Jesus.
yeah,
Bro,
something like that.
86.
Yeah, I think I saying like I was 110 kg, man. Like,
That's
I mean,
that's
it could
what.
be
Wait,
worse.
wait,
Facts.
wait. Come out. Did you say that was when you were in high school?
no, in
No, that
uni,
was
in
in
uni.
uni.
Oh, uni, bro.
Wait, come on.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
How old am I now?
No,
Not
how
tall.
tall are you?
I'm like 5'9".
Yeah, I mean that's not that crazy.
Yeah, it's not that crazy. Like, it actually isn't that crazy. But yeah,
He
but
was still
it's just
fat, bro. Sorry, go on.
oh my god. Yeah, this is why I didn't want to do this topic. 'Cause anyway, so yeah, so from there, even when I dropped the weight and I was back at like 71, 72 ish, like bro, even I could not actually view myself as skinny or small or anything in that regard, even though all the people around me like, nah, this guy actually like quite small. And I'm like, nah. Because when I look in the mirror, it did not look small to me because the image I always had of myself from years ago, to me, that's still how I looked, even when I was 70 something kg. And even if I dropped lower than that, I would still have that image of myself. So it did not really matter what my actual weight was. Like in my head, I would always look a certain way. And it's still that way till now. Like my relationship with food is terrible. Like it's so bad. Like I weigh everything, I count all the calories, I input everything on an app. Like and my brother is the same. My elder brother, he's years older than me, but he had the same issue. So I can't even go out and enjoy food because I'm always thinking, what are the effects of this that this meal I'm about to have, like shit like that. And like Olive said, it's a lot more common than you actually think because I have a lot of friends, mostly women though. A lot of guys don't have this issue as much, but mostly women that I know, they tend to obsess over like being skinny, like very skinny. And
Hmm.
depending on what culture you're from, it's emphasized. I know in Asian culture it's that way. Both Chinese like and East Asian culture, or rather like Pakistani Indians, there's a big emphasis on being skinny. So for a lot of people that have suffered that for a long time, it's just hard to get out of it. Yeah, so that's my personal experience. But others, so like you and Rose, for example, you guys never really suffered from this ever.
You don't
Like,
know that. You don't know that.
nigga, you don't
Okay,
even know
so
what it
share your
was.
perspective. I mean, maybe they didn't know what it was, but now that we've explained, they have like something
Nah,
similar.
nah.
Yay,
All right,
nay.
let's hear it. Then. Let's hear it. Then.
Wait, Rose, what are you saying for?
I mean, bro, I feel shocked because like I always used to think that like to a point, like that was mostly when I was like back in secondary school that I was skinny and everything. I know, but like then the mirror wasn't correlating with my statements. So that's some Tommy there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think over the years it's even gotten worse. So like when Kamal even said checking the calories thing, I'm like, damn, bro. Oh, you serious? Bring me some more of them burgers, man. And let's down.
Yo, what the-
So
This
like,
guy.
and you know the funny thing is that like each time I try to be fit, God,
stress.
there's always not even the stress. Yeah, it's just that lack of that consistency or that motivation. Because by the time you get back home, man, enter the kitchen, turn about with soup with plenty of obstacles, guy. That's the end now. Like that's the end. So I'm like, good. I know I eat. Let me even give you guys a story. So in secondary school, I used to eat, man. God damn.
You did. You
Bro.
actually did. Because you know when you were in secondary school, I came to my house and then give you bread and egg with 3 slices. And you're like, what's this? I was like, "Aight." So I guess this nigga be eating, bro.
Now that's facts, because guy in secondary school, and guy they used to feed us bread and rice. In a week, we'd eat bread 6 times, we'd eat rice 6 times.
Wow. Yeah, that's true.
And like guy I used to consume one loaf of bread Friday morning like this.
One loaf,
Get
like one family loaf.
guy one family loaf, 24 slices, one sitting. Just just set the mayonnaise, set the sardine, set the tea, one sitting, guy.
Jeez.
And you know the
Mayonnaise,
funny thing?
What
Yeah,
the
that's same
bro.
hell?
day. That
That's
same day. They will still give us
disgusting.
bread in the afternoon and we eat it with beans. Like, bro. See, my my secondary school, they didn't do us any good. And guy, one day like this, we did some Grammys, like this, all these mini Grammys now, just for jokes and everything. Guy, they gave me the biggest manga. Guy, that shit pained me. I mean, there were guys that ate more than me. I know, but I guess because I was an easy target. But to be fair,
Mm.
like I did used to eat a lot. I mean, like a whole lot.
Did you feel
And
self-conscious about how much you ate?
yeah, but I was like, just 3 pound of yam, just three. Give me two more, Jerry. Rubbish.
Raw.
I mean, like I
Raw.
knew I was I was pretty much aware that like I was eating all this food and I knew the side effects, but like damn, bro, I'd rather have a nice body or cancel this plate of rice with 6 beef. Mm. To be fair, I think back then I would have felt that like I made the right decisions, but now I don't so much feel that way. I mean, I reduced like the quantity of food which I eat, although like to be fair, that's actually debatable because there's still some things, sha, but like in general, I feel like I've actually reduced, and over the time, I noticed that like the kinds of food that I ate, which is actually like this particular period in my life, I feel like I'm drawing closer to what Kamal said, being careful about the kind of stuff you eat. Well, I don't really check the calories, but like I'm more concerned about what I actually put in my body because I've fallen sick a couple of times and
Mm.
it's primarily due to like the stuff that I've been eating. So I mean, there are some days that like you just feel so hungry, but like the side effects of eating certain things. Like even that bread self, like I'm trying to like transition from white bread to eating like wholemeal and wheat bread.
Yeah.
And I know it's hard
Rose.
because bro, guy, excuse come out, ground square bread now. I thought you just
Uh-huh.
grab like three, put it together, man. It is finished.
This guy, bro. Like, It's actually not. I didn't like brown bread before either, but when I started eating, honestly, you get used to it. Like it's fine.
You
So many
really
types of
do.
bread do you eat now?
I mean, like, okay, yesterday, I ate five. Today I ate
Yeah.
three. So like over time, like I've actually reduced the quantity. You won't see me eating anything more than in one sitting. You won't see me eating these days. If that five that I ate yesterday was because maybe I was quite hungry, but these days I won't eat anything more than two or three.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, you're getting better, I guess.
Yeah, but
Like,
that also depends on the meal that I eating.
what do you mean?
Yeah, no, I mean like if you're eating like if you're eating bread with like beans, obviously you won't take a lot of bread. But like if
Uh-huh.
you're eating with something lighter, I mean, let's say if I'm eating bread with beans, maybe like two slices, but like maybe with something like peanut butter or Nutella, or, although I don't even take Nutella anymore, you can maybe increase to like three, four, because the spread is lighter.
Your analogy makes perfect sense, and I think like that's part of the issue is like, eating a lot of carbs without eating substantial protein with it. So like you wouldn't get full
Yeah,
off of like,
Mhm.
a few slices of bread because your body is like, okay, cool, but like it's not gonna hold you.
yeah.
And I mean the fat will eventually, but like
Yeah.
pairing it with beans or sardine, it's like a better option, I guess, or eggs.
Yeah,
I was gonna say the same thing, so I don't even have
yeah,
to say it anymore.
That's
yeah.
funny.
These
I was gonna
days,
say that I think. Oh, I like Ro. Like, did anyone I guess other than the like the Munger thing, like
yeah,
I feel like, but for a lot of people, body dysmorphia. I mean, like for me, like it's shown up in different ways over the years, right? But I think like similar to what Kamal kind of said, it has a lot to do with the things that you heard as a child.
mm.
So like, did you get like teased in other ways?
That's actually the funny thing. Like, first of all, that manga thing, I was just targeted because, first of all, it was babes that did it, and they weren't going to hit on the main guys in our set. So like, just said, easy targets, and so like that's why I was an easy target and everything. But in general, like, I think I'm not fat. I'm actually not fat
Yeah, you're
at
not.
all. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of have a little bit of tummy, but like I'm not fat, so I didn't really have that. Maybe apart from like few times, maybe when my parents just complained that, oh, you're eating too much, look at your tummy, all of those things. But in general, I didn't experience that thing where people come and be saying, oh, this guy are so fat, or
Criticize you for your
yo,
image.
yeah, exactly. So I didn't experience that.
That makes sense. I mean, that would explain, like, I mean, I guess so far the theory checks out, like, because
Yeah.
I think, like,
Yeah.
similar to what Kamal said, like, when I was younger, like, getting to, because I like food too. I love to eat. And it was like, yo, be careful, blah, blah, blah. Look at your cheeks already, because I had chubby ass cheeks.
Mm.
Look at your cheeks already. You have the potential to get fat, blah, blah, blah. Like, see your tummy. And like, that was one thing. But at the same time, I was also like short and skinny. So like, I got like small, but like, you
Mm.
know, from I guess like, and I mean, I think my poor mom, but yeah, like she'd be like, "Yo, be careful, some," and then all my aunties be pulling my cheeks and stuff. So I started to feel like, oh yeah, like maybe I used to feel fat, man, like. And then I look at the pictures now, and I'm like, I
Really?
was a literal twig. And
Like,
then I
wait, you
guess,
fell fat back in secondary school?
yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That's actually crazy.
And then like at some point what's it called, so like yeah, I was tiny, right? So it was like people used to ask me why I didn't have ass like my sister, and that thing like
Ew. Oh my god.
Bro. It was like, no ass, no boobs. And I was like, all right, I guess I'm just like small. And then one person one time was like, oh, you kind of look like you have abs. And I like embodied, I was like, oh, there's something redeeming about my physique. Like,
Mhm.
I think like that has even part to do with like embracing fitness more while I was in school. Cause I used to like do YouTube videos. Like I had my Kindle. Like people started working out with me like in high school.
Mm.
Yeah, and then that's like, one aspect. Another thing was like having big lips. Like when I was
That's
younger,
so
like
random.
girl. Yeah, no, I mean now I'm like, that's so ridiculous. Like, thank
Yeah.
God for what I have, but at the time, like just comparisons, things that you hear and you just subconsciously like agree with them without realizing it, and especially when it's like repeated over and over, like the Orova thing,
Mhm.
like,
Mhm.
that was like one thing. I think a whole section of Black people can also relate to like feeling bad about being darker skinned at certain points in time, you know,
Mm.
like,
Let's I have a couple questions for Olive. Let's move on to that part of the show where I try and get us cancelled. So, question number one: do you look down on fat people?
Yeah, it was.
Well, I'm just asking. I mean, I've seen your Instagram. I mean, it
Actually,
seems like
no,
you're in
actually,
great
actually,
shape. So I'm just saying. What do
Yeah,
you
that's a
think?
funny question. I
you
do
know, that's
not.
a good question. Actually, that's a good
Yeah.
question.
I don't.
Why
Um,
not?
so for several reasons, right? I think like for one thing, people get that way for different reasons. Some people have like health conditions or whatever, right? Some people just like to eat. As a person that just likes to eat, I can relate. One.
Mhm.
I found, that's a great way to let me continue to eat like I like because I put in the work to eat that food, right? But another really, really big part is just people are not informed. Like
Mhm.
that's something I've always been really, really passionate about is like nutrition education because literally we learned about the food pyramid like once in like elementary school and that's it. Like, so I think like when people are kind of going through, I mean some people are like, it's cool and fine, whatever, like I like myself. I think everyone should be and to be eating food that nourishes your body. Like, but I don't look down on them because I don't feel like I feel like it's unfair because there's things that I struggle with in life too. Like I'm not perfect, but for fat people, it's very, very visible to everyone in the world, and everyone thinks it's like their place to tell them, "Oh, you need to fix this about your life," but
Yeah,
nobody else can see someone else's alcoholism. Like
Well, hmm.
a lot of fat people know they're fat. Like I think that's we can just start there. Like you
Okay,
don't really
yeah,
have to tell
okay.
them, and no
Well,
matter how much you tell them, they're not necessarily going to change unless they want to. Like it has
but
to
that's
come
the
from
thing, though.
them.
Okay. Can we agree? I mean, Olive, you're like the expert here. Would you agree that being fat is unhealthy? Yeah.
yeah, being overweight can definitely be like detrimental to your health. Like, you're
Yeah.
higher risk for heart disease and like
Mm-hmm.
diabetes and stuff like that, right? Um
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, like times when I'm getting heavier, and it's like not just like, oh, I've been really solid in my lift and I'm eating well. It's like just consistently eating whatever I feel like that's not necessarily
Hmm.
in line with what my body needs.
Hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I can feel myself not feeling as good, and it doesn't
Yeah.
feel
Mm-hmm.
great. Like my knees start hurting when I'm like, okay, my knees start hurting. Like I know I'm getting too fat. Like I need to come back down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like I can't say that it doesn't have an impact. I think like the approach to help the situation is just very, very warped.
So, say
I
for you,
mean,
as
go
like
ahead.
a professional in some regard, in that sense, do you feel like it's
hmm
your place to be able to tell overweight people like, yo, you should probably stop eating?
if they're my clients, yeah. If they're not, then it's none of my business. Or
Mm.
if they're my
True.
Okay.
close friends, and like you said, they've eaten 5 burgers like literally 5 burgers. So
I mean,
like
to be
I
honest,
think
I've eaten 7 hot and spices from McDonald's. So, like that's like, it happens. It actually happens. Like that's realistic. Yeah. Like,
Nigga, in one sitting?
in one sitting, bro. That's the record.
Damn, bro.
wow.
Get me. Facts. Facts.
Yeah,
Still, I
I
feel like
mean,
you have a lot to say. I think
Me
the
or
guy is like holding back. You,
me? No, I mean I'm just.
no,
I
like
feel like this guy is
okay,
holding back.
like you're already on the path to getting y'all canceled, so just let it rip.
Yeah, you might as well just
Okay,
let it
I'm just
out.
saying, like, yo,
Yeah,
it's
say
not
what you
okay
want to
to be
say.
fat out here, bro. That's all I'm trying to say. It is not okay. I understand society bigs them up. Oh, big black and beautiful. You know, no, it's not okay. It is not okay because
So why isn't it okay?
okay, one, your health. Like that's the most important thing. One is your health. Two,
So
and
do
that's
you
the next.
believe that fat people can't be healthy?
I don't think they can be as healthy as if they were slimmer. That just is what it is.
Mm,
But
Yeah. I was next thing
no,
I'm going to say Lizzo has cardio. No shit. I mean, come on, bro. Like, come
no, but
on,
like
fam.
whoa,
just
whoa,
cause
whoa!
just
That
cause
I mean, I was getting there for sure. I was getting there
I knew someone
because
was gonna say
you
that. Yeah.
no because ha, as a professional athlete,
uh-huh.
I'm telling you what Lizzo does is not easy. Like I couldn't do that right now. It is
What
not
exactly
easy.
does she do?
Have you seen her performances? Like her live performances, she has to work out a lot to be able to maintain that. That takes a lot of stamina to dance like that and then sing on top. That's a lot of work. You're not giving that woman credit for.
Wouldn't it be less work if she was slimmer, though? Wouldn't it? I mean, just
No, you
objectively.
would do. You would have
No,
to do just as much
it's not a
work.
direct correlation. Yeah,
Like
it's not a
Yo,
direct
okay.
practicing dance
correlation.
moves,
So okay,
practicing
so
dance moves,
no,
and
you're trying
moving.
to make it
Right?
seem like as if there is no bad aspect of being fat, and I'm like, well, that's cap.
No, we're not talking about.
No,
No,
but no
so
one
I
said
asked
that
you
though.
like.
Or you talk about a cardio.
Exactly. No, like so you're talking about that, and I think like you're asking where the line is, right? So for me, I'm not on a let's just say everything's jolly and fine when it's not type of line.
Mhm.
But I'm very much supportive of letting people live in a way that's true to themselves. And
No.
when you talk about no, like no, hold on, let me finish. Like when you
Okay.
talk about like, someone being bigger, the important
Uh-huh.
things to me are, is this person working out and are they nourishing their body? That's it.
But that can only
Because
go so
those are the
far,
things
though.
that make you
Like,
healthy. Those are the things that actually make you healthy. Most fat people that are at risk for diabetes and like cardiovascular disease, etc., right? It's because of their lifestyle that they're that way. So if they
Yep.
change that lifestyle and they stay that way, then I don't have a problem with it. Like that, like you if you change your lifestyle, you will more than likely lose a lot of weight. But if you do and you're not losing a lot of weight, then that signals a lot of other issues. You know what I
well,
mean?
that's a different thing, though. That's a different thing. But
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 so that's what I'm saying though. So someone like there's a lot of power lifters now, for example, right? Power lifters are hella strong and they lift a lot, right? Like
Mhm.
ridiculous amounts of weight. But they're fatter because
Yep.
you're stronger when you have more weight. Like
Yeah.
the
Okay, yeah.
amount.
Well, if we're talking about like being big, like bigger, not like fat, that's like
But
one
that's
thing.
what I'm saying. Like there's some of these people that you see that are big, but you probably call them fat.
Yeah, you would.
I mean, I might, society might not do. Well, yeah. Here's the thing.
No,
Okay, so
society would too.
no, okay. So what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say is like you can be fat and healthy. This is where I
Yeah.
disagree, though. No, I don't agree with that. You know
So
what I'm saying?
what's your basis for not agreeing with that?
So
Yeah,
if
exactly.
Lizzo,
Wow.
okay, Lizzo has cardio, sick, but like life is not about cardio, though. You get me? So like
What
is
is life about?
vibes. So like, see if if okay, you have all that cardio because here's the thing, right? If I go to like the gym, for example, and like I get on the bicycle thingy, whatever it's called, right? And then say I don't know, in 20 minutes I can cycle, let's call it like 10 miles, right? If I struggle the first day and I do it every day, obviously I'll be able to improve. Doesn't matter how big or small I am. Like that's just your body is getting used to doing that same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if Lizzo practices her performances, I mean, her body's going to get used to it. But at the same time, though, she still has excess weight. And that still carries considerable health risks. So just because she has all that cardio doesn't mean her risk for a heart attack has suddenly reduced.
We
Like,
don't know what she eats like. And actually,
if she's
it does.
eating well, then
I'm
she would
sorry,
not
sorry,
look
sorry.
like that, though,
So,
innit?
to just at the risk of like, changing, like correcting you for that minute there, it does literally directly reduce her risk for cardiovascular disease.
Even with the excess weight?
Yes. I mean, like there's
Mm.
levels to it. Like you can't say it's not black. It's not like 0 or 100, right? Like it's a whole scale. Like if somebody is sedentary and eating like trash, they're at the highest risk. Somebody who is active and eating like trash is better than the person who is not doing anything at all. Now, somebody who is like active and sometimes eating a little bit better, like there's levels to it, right?
Anything can happen to anybody, I guess. So, like you said, even if you're slim and you eat like shit, you could still die. Fair. Rare though, I haven't really seen that whole lot. But what I have seen a whole lot is people who have, in quotes, good lifestyles, but they're overweight. So then they get this complication and the other. I mean, that's just what I've seen.
Which people have you seen like with good
Yeah, I was gonna ask the
lifestyles?
same question. Yeah.
We want me to tell you their names.
I
Skills,
mean,
you're
I
running
kind
on
of need to
vibes,
be
bro.
specific because
This
that
guy
way
is Skills is running on vibes. The guy has
Hey,
no
listen.
facts.
At the end of the day, I mean, all of she's spitting, she's saying some shit. I get it. I agree. I agree. I'm just saying, yo, okay, let's put it this way. In general, would you agree that in general it's better to be slimmer than fatter? Would you agree with that?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
Okay,
It's better
cool.
to be
Then case
leaner.
closed. Cool.
Sorry. Let me reiterate that, right? It's better to be leaner, not slimmer.
Yeah, I'm glad we could find common ground. That's good. That's good.
I don't even know if that's
Yeah.
one thing I'm kind of curious about, like a lot of people who start going to the gym, if they're bigger, they do it to be more attractive, right? To like the opposite sex and whatever. I'm curious Oliver, this is for you. Like the way you look now versus how you looked before. Was there ever a time you felt like you needed to do anything to be more attractive, or do you even feel like now because you have a lot of muscle that some guys have put off, or anything like that?
Oh, I mean, definitely on both sides. Like I mentioned before, no boobs, no ass. I was on a mission to get an ass. But then also like I think like part of it too was like being an athlete, right? Like my whole life. But like I would go to the store with my sister and people would be like, "Oh, did you run track?" to her. And nobody would ask me.
So you
And
felt
I
away.
was like, yeah, and I was like, I want to look like an athlete that like I feel in my heart that I am. And then on the other hand, like I've definitely seen like different kinds of attention from like guys when I'm like super lean and also when I'm like thicker. Like it varies, right? Like I think like guys are always looking at me in the gym and like some of them are just like mouth slightly open, wide-eyed, and then some people like come and approach me, right? But I remember when I was like getting ready for my first show and I was like super duper shredded and I was in the club and like that was the first time I went out and nobody tried to talk to me. Like it was so weird. Like I went out with my friends and everybody was like, like it was graduation and they were like all like drunk, but I was on prep, so I was sober.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just like, okay, like I didn't have that much energy left, but
can we acknowledge the subtle flex that just happened here? She said that's the first time she's gone out. And
That's what I was going to say it when she was done. So basically, every time she be going, I
mean, I think the average woman like experiences that.
Wait, do you know what? I have a question for Olive. So basically, what you just described in the story, you said that when you were extra shredded and you guys went to club and then no one came up to you. So it seems like the general vibe in society is like, okay, if the girl is like extra shredded, maybe guys are like intimidated or something, like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever feel like, okay, maybe at some point, like I should like dial back or something? Maybe if I want to get like a ship or something, or in your mind, you're just like, you know what, I like this, I'm gonna do it. Like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I mean, I like this. I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm winning trophies off of this shit. One,
Exactly.
I'm winning money, getting clients, but also like I'm in the community where I see there's a very, very wide range, right? Like of people, their partners and stuff like that. And I know that there's lots of guys that like are into that shit, right? Like And for me, it doesn't have to
That
be
into like
yeah,
shredded.
you know, like
Have you met
they're
those
not
guys
the
before, by the
average in the
way?
population. You said what?
Have you met those guys before that like they're like really
Yeah,
into?
yeah, I have.
Oh, okay.
I
Okay.
have. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like at the gym, like all kinds of people, like, but I mean, those are the people that are like, some people tend to be like, you know, impressed and
Mm.
like, yeah, they vibe with it. But that's the thing too, right? Like, I'm only like that shredded, like maybe like 6 months, like every 2 years. So like right now, I'm very thick. Like I'm not. I don't even like my abs are barely there, right? Like,
Mm.
but that's just
It's
like
still there, though.
I like
It's
to
still there.
eat, you know. Like I'm not gonna be mad about like I just ordered shawarma. I'm not even gonna lie. So I had I had a heavy ass lift today, and I'm going to enjoy my shawarma. I know that's nourishing my body, right? Like I've spent the energy that I'm going to use now, but like I'm definitely
I'm not even mad
beyond.
at that, to be honest. I'm not mad at that
Yeah.
at all. Like some
So
days
I
you're
think
just dead after the gym, like completely dead. Like you just want to eat something that makes you happy.
you understand, and
Yeah,
it's worth
facts.
it.
Yeah.
Wait,
So
I
you
have a
know when?
random question.
Yeah,
Wait,
go
sorry,
on,
come
go
on.
on.
Wait, so basically, the guys I just described, like basically, what's your typing, guys? Do they have to be built like you? Do they have to be like bigger? And I was like, what's the vibe with that?
Mm,
um,
that's a good one.
no, actually, so I don't like um. I think for me, my typing guy, right? Like he don't have to be like built like me, but I do want someone that's at least my size. Like I'm not like,
Mm,
yeah,
physique
like
wise?
But yeah, but you're like
no,
your size in
no,
terms
no,
of what?
not necessarily physique wise. Like
Yeah.
just like not somebody that's like super duper like skinny. Like I feel like I'm bigger than you. Like
That's
to
what I was
me,
gonna
Okay.
say.
that's
So he has to be going to the gym, isn't it? Because if you
no,
always
no,
go
no.
gym
I
and
mean, some guys are not. A
okay,
lot of guys are naturally just like bigger. Like not
Big. Yeah.
everyone is
Yeah. Yeah.
like in the
oh
gym
okay,
like that. You know, like I've dated my last two. I mean, my last ex was like he was tall and but he didn't like he didn't used to like go like gym like that. Sometimes he like would cycle and play tennis and stuff like that or soccer.
Mm.
But he
yeah,
wasn't
both
like
stuff.
a gym bro by any means.
Soccer?
Football. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I've been in
Hey,
America too long.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
actually, I learned about like football. Like at ICS, they were saying soccer. So soccer has always been like.
You've been Americanized for a long time.
Let's next agenda. We're talking obsessing over Instagram likes and I guess social media likes in general. Olive, you start us off again as usual. So you have a page. It seems like basically it looks professional. You're out here doing your thing. Uh, do you feel like? I guess I want to say obsessed, but do you feel like you worry a lot about like getting likes on that page? Like, like does it bother you as far as like how you're perceived?
I think, um, like the perception is definitely a very very big thing. For me, I don't know that it necessarily translates into like obsessing over likes, right?
Mhm.
Like, um, and I mean, part of that might also be the fact that I know I have a smaller following for one, and also because from things that I've learned is like engagement is more important than likes. So I
Mhm.
may think more about engagement than likes, but like yeah, that's still something that I think about.
How
Okay.
long did it? Because I think anyone that makes content will figure this out quite quickly. But how long did it take you to realize that your friends aren't necessarily gonna support you as much as you think?
Oh, I mean, I think like that was been the part of the whole reason for creating a different account. Like,
Mm.
I was just like, I don't even want to like. I think now I remember like slightly because I was just like, okay, I'm posting like too much fitness stuff. Let me just
Uh, yeah,
because right now, yeah, and eventually I've sort of abandoned my old. It's still
old
there,
account.
but I just like haven't posted.
Because like for us, when we started this page, this podcast, because there's four of us at the beginning. There was four of us. So combined, we're talking. Rose alone has like Rose. How many followers do you have? 2,000?
Like 3,000 or something probably. I think it was 3,000
3,000.
something. Yeah, for Rose. Yeah.
If Rose alone has 3,000, I don't even know, maybe 500 or 600. I don't know how Skills has. And the other guy, let's say we have 3 to 4,000 like followers combined, something like that. So in your mind, you're like, this thing is gonna blow up quite quickly. We're gonna have a lot of support, and then you can start branching out into other people that don't know you, stuff like that. It like I already knew because I already write, so I know what it's like.
Yeah.
And what the engagement is like. So similar to you, I focus more on engagement than likes. Like people actually. What also annoyed me was people would message me privately, right, and not do it publicly. So on my page, it just seems like no one really cares. But then you have a bunch of people messaging, and I'm like, well. You could have just said this shit, like all you do is telling me, "Yo, I like this." Like you could have just commented.
Comment to that, right?
Yeah, and then more people because I don't know the Instagram algorithm works funny, so I don't really know exactly what parameters they use to promote content and stuff. Um, but over time, that obsession, I don't know if I call that an obsession either, but it did bother me at some point because I'm like, well, you put in so much work into whatever it is you do. And you see, let's say Beyonce releases an album and you see all your friends reposting Beyonce's album, and I'm like, but like you could just repost my shit too. Like like you actually know me. Like Beyonce doesn't know you. Like she don't care about you. Like, you're out here reposting Beyonce's album all over your page and retweeting all the time.
Facts.
And I'm like, I'm your friend. Like you could literally like it takes 3 seconds. Like you literally did the same thing. But we never actually got there. So that I wouldn't lie, it did bother me at some point.
Rose, what you said?
Yeah. To be honest, I engagement. It depends. For me, it's more of like a mood thing. Depends on my mood at that particular moment. There are some days that, oh yeah, yeah. I mean, to be nice to have that engagement, have nice to have people give you the likes, the comments. And other days, you're just like, eh, if it doesn't get as much, yeah, whatever. And and just like Kamal said, for like our page now, it's actually very annoying because I've shown you guys a couple of times now. Yeah, it's actually so annoying. Like, I don't know how the Instagram algorithm works, but like, you see some posts, maybe I'll post a picture or something, and it has like 133 views or something. And then when I now repost our own Insta, maybe one of our stories or one of the reels, and we're just getting like, that's barely getting 50 views. I was just like, why is this the case? So to be honest, it could be frustrating. I think for someone that is maybe an influencer or they're a musician or they're into podcasts, someone that is trying to push out some certain level of content, I think it's more frustrating, especially when like you know that you bring like really, really good content. I know, but I feel like for other people who just, post on social media for the purpose of posting, they might not really care as much if people engage or not. Yeah, I think that's pretty much how it is, though.
Let me ask a question, though. So, like, I feel like I won't necessarily say obsession, but like, isn't it? I feel like importance might even be too strong, but like, it does matter how many likes you get, though, isn't it? Because isn't that what you post on Instagram in the first place? Isn't it? Like, isn't that why most people post on Instagram to get likes, right? So it's like,
Do you post it for the likes or for people to see it?
isn't it like both? Don't they kind of go like hand in hand anyway?
Honestly, I wouldn't care if I got 0 likes if like there's a bunch of engagements on the post.
Honestly, I think it's like the mindset behind understanding like just because I kind of agree with that too, because I don't know, like I don't look at likes as much. Okay, for example, now like I had a post yeah, the other day, literally a day ago, and I got like less than 120 likes, like 118, right? But I have like
That's
50
the
comments.
exact number. That's the exact
No, no, no.
number.
I literally opened up my page. I opened up my page
All
and I'm
right.
like,
We'll
there's
give you
like
we'll give you the benefit
53
of the doubt.
comments.
Okay. Yeah.
There's
Okay.
53 comments on it.
That's a crazy ratio, by the way. That doesn't even make sense.
You see what I'm
Yeah, that's
saying?
wild,
Yeah.
man.
So like it's
Yes, it's
sometimes I'm
right.
like I
It's
don't,
three couples.
I'm just not gonna worry about like the likes as much, but like people that my content resonate with, like, tend to like respond.
Yeah.
But if you put like a post, say for example, and it gets 0 likes, that would bother you though, wouldn't it? Like it would.
I'll be
Zero
like,
like
is
zero
Instagram
engagements. Yeah.
glitching?
Yeah, it would bother you. But like, yeah,
I
but
mean, it
it
all
would because it
depends.
feels like it's wasted time and shit.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, it all
especially,
depends.
like what you said, when you put in effort into like your content, right? Like when I spend like, like 20 minutes writing a long ass caption explaining like something in depth, and then I've spent like another how many minutes editing stuff. You have to move your camera how many times to record, and then
Yeah.
no one just says anything like.
I'm happy for you though. I'm sorry that happened.
That's a random example. I can't remember specifically, but yeah, like basically, but to that extent, like just content creators, because it involves a lot of editing and the
Yeah,
actual,
work,
like, yeah,
effort.
how much thought do you put into your stuff?
No, but content creation aside, though, just like any other anything you put on Instagram, by that logic, are you not then putting it basically for other people to like it? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, to be fair, like some people might not actually even care so much about how much engagement they get. Maybe they have like a target audience, or like they just want one particular person to see it. And once that person
Oh, one of those.
does, yeah,
One of those.
so
So let me flex on my ex real quick. I got you.
I mean, that is it.
I never
I
feel my
guess,
ex
like,
said,
I know lots of people, so I won't even say that's not true.
I don't check who views my shit. Like even if I post a story, I actually don't check for a lot. Even my blogs and stuff, I don't check at all. Like I think it was even one of my last blog posts that when I was about to publish it, it told me how many subscribers I had, and I was like, oh, that's a lot more than I would have ever imagined. Like I honestly didn't know because I just stopped when I first started. I always used to check, and it would bother me depending on how many it is. So I just at some point I just like, okay, I need to stop obsessing over this, and I just need to leave it alone. So I just stopped checking completely. So now, unless I'm trying to pitch for something or whatever, I don't really care how many viewers I get.
Mm. Well, I guess like I feel you. I guess my own thing is like I feel like there's a balance because my main issue. I got beef. My main issue is with all these new age babes that are like, oh, nah, I don't post on Instagram for anybody. I post for myself. But I'm like, not really though. You know what I'm saying? For these reasons that we just outlined. Because if you didn't get nothing, no likes, no views, you'd feel some type of way. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, they say the same thing when it comes to like makeup and stuff though. Like they do makeup for themselves and not for other people.
yeah,
I
I
didn't
mean
even
that's a
say cap.
discussion for another day, but yeah. It's something.
So
Let's sorry, go
we
on.
know where you fall on that one then, on the
For me,
makeup one. Yeah.
don't worry. That's a discussion for another day. I've no. I've not chosen any side. I just laughed. That's all I did. Uh,
Uh, okay.
yeah. Let's wrap up the thing then. Final thoughts, Olive. Final thoughts.
Um, there was something you said about like, people that post for attention, right? And I think
Mhm.
like I would sum it up more to validation. Like human beings in general are kind of looking
Yeah.
for validation to our experiences, right? So
Mm,
like if you're posting and you're feeling yourself, like, okay, maybe other people can tell me that like me feeling myself is actually true because like, yeah, like I actually look that good to be feeling myself. Sometimes when they don't
mm,
get that answer back, they're like, okay, maybe I wasn't like what I thought I was feeling wasn't actually right. And that's how people build body dysmorphia.
Mm,
That's just one
mhm.
thing, by the way, right? But then like, like for content now, like Kamal, you're writing, like when people like talk about how it resonates with them, like that's something that makes you feel just that connection, makes you
It
feel
feels amazing.
like, yeah.
just
Like
When
it
corny
someone
feels
as
says,
amazing.
fuck, bro.
Nah. Listen. Like I remember the first time someone told me like they read my shit and it made them cry, bro. Do you know the thing? It was like a depressive post. I think it was literally about depression itself. And you're like, well, that means this guy is sad as fuck right now. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm kind of happy or sad as fuck because it makes me feel good. Like it's kind of fucked up.
Wow. Wow.
It's kind of fucked
But
up,
I
but
mean,
like it is what it is.
but to that sad person though, like the poem helped them validate their own existence.
Yeah,
So that's why they
exactly. Yeah,
associated with it so much.
Sometimes I think about you when I cry.
You're a fuck up.
yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. So we all see validation in different ways. I just
Yeah,
think like
facts.
you need to be mindful about whether or not it's going to help you or it aligns with who you want to be.
Mm,
That's fine.
okay. Rose, final thoughts?
Final thoughts. If you're in secondary school and you're listening to this, run away from Premier Academy because those niggas be feeding us too much bread and rice.
But Rose, you should
Yeah,
just the Nigerian diet in general. Like the Nigerian diet
I
is
was
very carb heavy.
yeah, that's facts
yeah,
now. Rice, bread, swallow,
With
spag.
one piece of meat.
it's penny and
One.
season.
Yeah, I'll give you like a heap of rice with like
Not
one
for
piece of
Rose,
beef
though.
on top. Yeah, no, I'm talking about Nigerian diet in general.
Or in
Like just a
general,
bunch of
yeah.
carbs.
It's
Yeah.
really facts.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Uh,
in addition to that, with the whole body dysmorphia thing, it's just important we should just be kinder to people because we don't know exactly how they feel
facts.
or what
Facts.
they're going through.
Skills, that's for you.
Yo,
Yeah,
relax, bro.
skills, that's actually for you. Because sometimes like there's this tendency for us to see someone and just like this guy is so overweight or see something so unpleasant, but like you don't know the pain or the struggles that they might be going through, and you don't even know how like words in the past have really affected them in terms of like their mental health and all of that.
Okay,
So we
well,
should
sorry.
just be
Okay,
kind
wait,
to
sorry,
people.
sorry. Yeah, I mean, be kinder to people is one thing. I get it, but I mean, the facts is the facts, though. Is what I'm saying. So like Kamal said, fat people know they're fat. So I'm not gonna be saying that. Like, so I agree with you. That's rude to say such. You know what I'm saying, but it is what it is. Is also the other
But
thing.
nigga, who asked
So
for your opinion though? Like I
no,
didn't
I
ask for
didn't
your
say my
opinion.
opinion. I don't have to say my opinion. They already know what it is. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah,
I'm
but
not going to say anyways.
okay, let Rose finish first. Mm. All
Yeah,
right, Rose, continue, I beg.
and the whole likes thing. I know. I mean, to be honest, there's nothing wrong in wanting more likes or more engagement. I mean, that's pretty much part of what social media is for. So we shouldn't try to make people feel bad or feel somehow because like they want more likes on their pictures or more engagement. But I believe everything should still be done with moderation and should be done organically as well. That's one very important thing because so many people they are stressed. They keep stressing about the likes and everything, and then they go ahead and start paying all of these things so that they can get like more followers, have
Yeah,
so
that's
many
what
bots
I
and
agree. That's
engagements.
problematic.
But a lot
Yeah,
of
it
bots.
is because like
It's about how people are viewing you versus you actually connecting
yeah,
with people.
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
Exactly. And that thing has a ripple effect because more and more people see, why is this guy having so much likes? What did he do? And
Mm-hmm.
then more people start trying to do the same thing and all. So, man, as long as you're trying to get the likes, do it organically. Reach out to people and don't do things because I feel like you feel more accomplished when you do that
Mm-hmm.
than when you
Mm-hmm.
try to use the back door, basically.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just go off from what Rose just said because I remember a while back when I was looking at what to do with my own page so I get more engagements and stuff. So I was like, let me look at other people similar to me, like what did they do? And the first thing I noticed was there was a shitload of bots. And it's not even the bots where you know that bots, they're just like, oh, send me this or whatever, like post on this page. You know those ones that always asking post on this page for promotion, not those ones.
Yeah.
It's like comments like this is fire, but then there's like 15 people using the exact same language with the exact same emojis, and I'm like, yo, these are all bots. And I don't want to call out this guy because I know who this guy is. Like, one of the people I checked, I'm like, yo, like your posts are full of bots. Like, none of these are actual people. Because I also checked them, and none of them actually follow the guy. Like, they're just random people just posting the exact same comments 15, 20 times. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because, like Rose said, it's about feeling accomplished in what you do. So that's not gonna get me anything. It's just, oh, there's a bunch of people commenting, but it doesn't mean anything to me because I know I paid for those comments. And then with the body dysmorphia thing, I mean, a hill I'm willing to die on, bro. Unless I ask for your opinion, don't give it to me, man. Like, I really don't care. Like, if I'm overweight, I probably know I'm overweight. If I want to do something about it, I'll do something about it. Otherwise, like, don't disturb me with comments because what people don't realize is, although you may feel like, okay, I'm just telling him how he looks or whatnot, the problem is you're not the only one telling me. So you might tell me at 4 o'clock, at 4:20, someone else is gonna tell me, and then at 5, someone else
20
is gonna.
minutes?
So yeah, yeah. So, like it's more frequent than people think. So
At
that
5
one
when people
comment.
tell me like I shouldn't turn into a man.
Yeah, can you see? Can you see? Like you may think it's just one person, but it's not. And for me, I think that's the hardest thing is the fact that so many people tell you, and it's so frequent. So that's why it's so easy to internalize these things because you just hear it too much. So let's ask for your opinion. Don't give it to me. Even if you want people to lose weight, like I said, unless them losing weight takes so long that unless you have that self motivation to drop 15, 20 kg, like it's not gonna happen. You might drop 5 or 10, and then you're gonna cheat, and then it's all gonna come back because you just cheated the process one. Oh, that's the other thing. If you do want to lose weight, try and do it properly because if you don't, you're probably gonna put the weight back. Um,
most
again,
most likely.
yeah, most likely, yeah. It's unfortunate because people don't know because they don't have the experience of doing it. But when you do it and it happens to you, you're gonna regret it. So if you are gonna try and do it properly. But yeah, like body dysmorphia, big thing, big issue for a lot of people. Like Rose said, let's try and be kinder to be kinder, man. You never know how your language affects others. So yeah, that's that.
Oh, I never actually said any thoughts on body dysmorphia. I was just gonna add, like closing remarks. I
Yeah,
think something that helps. Like I've been on like the different spectrum of experiencing different spectrums of being like experiencing body dysmorphia, right? And I think something that's helped is for one, like the media that you consume, right? Like many times that body dysmorphia comes from an ideal physique that you're trying to reach. And sometimes if you get there, you don't quite feel like you're there. And
hmm
part of that, has to do with what you're looking at. If you're constantly seeing
yeah,
people that are affirming like you are not quite there, you're going to feel that way. Like I've spoken to a lot of Black women about like curating your social media around like Black women, like people that look like you. Like so if you're a fat person who's like in the middle, like be around people who are in the middle on that same journey with you. Like you don't need
yeah,
to be on the excess side. So you're like, oh yeah, let me just get fatter because the obese people accept me the way I am, or let me be looking at
hmm
skinny people so I feel like shit every day. Like find
hmm
people who kind of resonate with who you are and where you're at, like the things about yourself, and like eventually you start to see it as normal.
yeah.
So yeah, just normalizing it more, I think.
I think also the other thing is similar to what you said. Like you shouldn't always look at other people because not every, and this may sound wrong, but like not every goal or body type you see is attainable for yourself. Like
Hundred
there's
percent.
just there's just other factors that you're not considering. I remember when I first started like weightlifting, I'm like, oh, I want to look like this, I want to look like that. Like the more weight I lost, the more I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna get there, you know? like this shit just isn't attainable sometimes. Unfortunately, you just don't have it. It could be genetic, it could be even the fact that you don't have the right training. Maybe you're like when I first started, I did it all myself, all the internet and YouTube, literally. Like so there's gonna be gaps in knowledge naturally. There's gonna be things I don't know, and there's gonna be things I could have done better. And when you reach a certain point, it's not always easy to go all the way back and then try and redo it again. So you're just gonna have to accept where you are now and try and devise a plan for where you can go from there. So don't always compare yourself to others because that's also something that could discourage people because they look at others and like, why can't I look like this? And then they just give up because they can't get where they want to get to. So just like
Yeah.
think of yourself as your own person and you're on your own journey. It's gonna be different.
No, 100%. Like you have to compare yourself to who you were yesterday. And not in the
Yeah.
sense of like, oh, I used to be so skinny as a child. Why am I fat now? But
Yeah,
more so like
exactly.
the effort you put in, the day before and how much further you've come, you know.
Mm. Even when you like gain weight all of a sudden, you're comparing yourself to how you look like 2 years ago, and like, well, I used
Yeah.
to look, bro, like that shit is damaging sometimes, because it's gone. It's just gone.
Yeah,
So
me too.
yeah,
And
just
that's
start
part
again.
of why I even talked about like looking at people at the same stage as you, because sometimes you'll
Mhm.
be looking at people who are where you want to be, and like for them,
Yeah,
they may have had like 10 years under their belt. You have no idea, you know.
yeah,
So like if you're seeing someone who looks like you, like putting in consistency and effort, right, and they start to
hmm
make that change, it kind of makes you feel more like it's more accessible. But if you're seeing
yeah,
people on completely different scales, you're just like, nah, like I'll never get there. Like, why isn't this happening for me? I've been doing this for like 2 months,
yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah, I have a friend, like ever since I knew her, she was trying to lose weight. Like she's into proper like into bodybuilding. Like she deadlifts more than me. She deadlifts like 180, 190 kg, and she's like 5'1", that's even being generous, maybe. Like she's short, like 5'1", 5'2". Let's say
Mm,
5'0", 5'1", and she's deadlifting like 190, 200, like squatting
Yeah,
almost
that's
similar to that.
short.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like she's really short, and
Real
she's been
big.
trying to lose weight ever since I met her, which is at this point like 6 years ago. Only this year did she actually get to where she wanted to get to. Like it took 6 years. Like sometimes it takes a shitload of time. Like you keep
fact.
trying, but other factors come in, and you're just not able to do what you want to do. Like you just have to be kinder to yourself as well, and realize like you might fail sometimes, and you might have to get up and do it again. So yeah, that's that too.
Yeah. And if you do want to lose weight, like Kamal said, like go about it the right way and focus on changing your lifestyle and habits. Because
Yeah,
if you put your lifestyle on pause and as soon as you resume it, you're just gonna gain it all
to
back.
go and get it back. Yep. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah, I needed that advice. I need to get back to the gym.
Hey.
Oliver
Yeah,
over there,
we'll
she's a
help you
trainer,
out.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
You know,
if you
actually,
need, if you want to like gain weight, if you want to lose weight, if you want to gain muscle, like all of the above. You want to look shredded, you just want to have, a little bit of abs. Like we do it all.
Mm.
mm, and I
Need
even
those
just for
abs.
record, because I actually never told her this, but like when she first started weightlifting, like when I first saw her win the competition, that was one of like the biggest motivations for me to even do similar. I always wanted to tell her, but I just never did. But now that I actually have it, yeah, I guess I could. So thank you for that. Like you actually helped me out as well.
Wow. No, that's amazing. That's awesome. I mean, I appreciate you telling me that. Like, it's the same way with like seeing you and your writing. I'm like, okay, like Kamal is doing this shit for real, for real. Like, there's no reason why you can't do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Aye. Before this turns into
Motivation comes from
some
different places. Nah,
freaking
bro, don't hate, bro.
stuff.
Don't be hating. Don't be hating, man.
Iron sharpens iron. You guys know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's facts.
Hey, it's been your boys on the fucking Parrot Side podcast, man. Hey, y'all know what it is. Shout out the gang still. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. Y'all know what it is. And as usual, Olive, what do we tell them about the feedback? Yo, tell them.
Don't send us any feedback.
Hey, you heard us say, bro. We don't give a fuck. Hey, shout out the gang still, man. Peace out. Catch us next time.
Yeah, peace out.
All right. Peace
Thanks for
out.
having me. Bye, y'all.
You know, so fuck you.